Hello friends, welcome to Akul Mac Live. I am Chandrakant. Indian parliamentary system can be very complicated to understand. We have been hearing these words like Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Speaker of the House, Chairman of the House, uh, Cabinet, Ministers, Ministries. And for past 2 days, there is no other news in India other than the Cabinet reshuffle. And for the first time, there are large number of women ministers going to join the cabinet. How important it is for us to understand what is the relevance of all this. We will discuss this in our show today. But before that, I must tell you that we have a QR code right on the screen. As you can see on this side here, this is a QR code. This QR code will be visible throughout the length of this video, and it makes it very user friendly for anybody wanting to get connected with our channel. All you have to do is point your mobile phone using the camera on this QR code and you will get connected instantly. So friends, in this video, we will discuss about the relevance of women empowerment at the cabinet level, and that discussion is coming up right now. Welcome back, friends. And this is a live show, and we call it AAA because we are going to analyze what is going on around us. And this week, the analysis on the cabinet reshuffle and why it is so important. I want to actually give a little bit background because we are being telecasted globally, and there are Indians watching our program, also people from other countries who may not know how Indian parliamentary system works. So very briefly, I'd like to explain that we have a parliament which is split into two parts, which is upper house, we call it Rajya Sabha, and the lower house, which is called Lok Sabha. The members in Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people of India. So there are people representative directly appearing into Lok Sabha, which is the lower house, and these are the people who actually take the issues of the people into the parliament and rectify those or solve those or run the country, in other words. So currently in our Lok Sabha, there are 543 seats. That means there are across India 543 directly elected members coming from the public and sitting in that house. Then there is another way of running India, that is, this is about the central government. But then there are multiple states in India, and each state has their own local government. And the local government is also called as Legislative Assembly. Just like Government of India is basically running from the parliament, the local governments are running from the assemblies, which are headquartered in every state, and there is a state capital from where they operate. The member of the legislative assemblies are known as MLAs, which is member of legislative assembly, MLAs. Now these MLAs basically also select people who actually go to Rajya Sabha. So Rajya Sabha is the upper house, and the role of Rajya Sabha is to ensure that people in the lower house are working properly as per the constitution. So these people who are elected by the states, they actually look after the people who are actually running the government. And so that there is an ecosystem which is created, and it's a self-balancing ecosystem, and nobody feels very powerful in the entire ecosystem. That means if there are a representative of the state governments governing the representative of the people, there is obviously a balance which is happening here, and there is no one is able to take undue advantage of the power they have because of that position. So that is the first thing that is so different here. There is no absolute power in India. So there are more things also, but I don't want to confuse in today's discussion. In Rajya Sabha, there are 245 seats, and the tenure for Rajya Sabha member of parliament, which are selected by the state governments, is 6 years. And the tenure of Lok Sabha is about 5 years. So you can see that straight away that the elections for both houses do not happen at the same time. That means the Rajya Sabha will continue running even though Lok Sabha is dissolved and elections are being conducted, general elections are being conducted in the country. There will be some level of governance still continue to happen. Now let's move on and talk about, if there are 543 members, then there are opposition members also, and there are the ruling party members, which comprise of 543. So House consists of 543 member of parliament, and both sides are there in the same place. But who is responsible for running the government? Obviously the side which has won. So the more number of MP belonging to one particular party will actually start running the government of India. And while doing so, there are further processes there, because if, say for example, the ruling dispensation has about 300 member of parliament, obviously all 300 will not start ruling the country. There will be some ministries, there will be at least 30 to 40 ministries and sub ministries. Those ministries are much less in number than the number of member of parliament. So not everybody who actually reaches the parliament will automatically become minister. So these ministries and ministers are selected and also basically given charge to run various ministries by the Prime Minister. Now who's the Prime Minister? Prime Minister is the leader of the ruling party in the parliament. So he actually decides who will do what. Out of 300 members, who will do what. And obviously if there are say 30 ministers out of 300, that means only 10% are basically running the government. But to control, to make a check on them also, there is something called cabinet. And that is what is in news lately for past 2 days, because there has been a major cabinet reshuffle in India. And what is the cabinet? I must explain to my viewers that cabinet is a second layer of governance, which is part of our parliamentary system. The ruling party will then induct the MPs, certain MPs who have the subject matter knowledge, or who are senior, or who have understanding of the issues, global issues, into cabinet. And the cabinet, out of say for example 100 people will get into cabinet. Now even the constitution describes how many maximum number of member of parliament can get into cabinet. As per Constitution of India, that is only 15%. So if you look at the current situation, 543 are the total strength of Lok Sabha. That means a cabinet can not exceed 80 member of parliament. So it never exceeds. For the first time, we will have a very large cabinet. The plan, as far as this government is concerned, they want to basically make a cabinet of 77 ministers, not ministers, they basically member of parliament. Now why so? Because they want to have, for the first time, give chance to lot of learned people, lot of people who are who have been there, done that, so that India being a very large country, there are very large issues, there are multiple border issues, there are pandemic issues, there are engineering challenges, there are progression. We want to make progress. We have a large population. So obviously the people like scientists, doctors, engineers, statisticians, they have been inducted for the first time into the cabinet. So 77 in all, that is a plan. We will unfold that story as it happens. But right now, 43 new cabinet ministers have taken oath last evening. And the interesting thing is, for the first time, they have inducted 11 women ministers. Now, there were already 2 ministers who are holding very important positions in Indian governance. One is the finance minister, Mrs. Sitaraman, and second is Smriti Irani ji, who was also managing one of the ministries. In fact, she was actually handling 2 ministries. So now there are 9 more women inducted into the cabinet. Now, what is the role of cabinet? Cabinet is a layer, approval layer. Before any decision needs to be taken, as we know that the Lok Sabha plays a role of approving it. So if government wants to bring something new to India, then that bill is presented in Lok Sabha, and then it is debated among the people from the ruling dispensation and also among the opposition. After the debate, voting happens within the parliament, and depending on the vote, the bill is passed or rejected. Now, this is normal process. It could be very complicated if I start discussing more about it. But let's understand this as a baseline, that anything that has to happen in India has to be first approved by Lok Sabha. But cabinet plays a major role. Even before presenting that bill into the floor of the parliament, it has to be approved by the cabinet. So if first debate happens outside the parliament, within the parliament premises, among the cabinet members, and they decide that whether this bill is worth presenting into the parliament, into Lok Sabha, because there will be a lot of debate and all that. So the cabinet plays a major role in deciding what is to be presented. So essentially, cabinet is the first milestone which decides the future of India. That is why it is a big news, and that is why all the channels are very, very focused on this particular news. Many of us may be thinking, hey, this is a trivial exercise because it's a normal process. It is not, my friend. These are the people who will then decide yours and mine future, and they will basically decide what is to be done. They will start formatting the bills, different budgets, different plans. Those plans will be presented in Lok Sabha for debate, and then those plans will be approved by all the member of parliament, which includes opposition as well as ruling dispensation. So now let's talk about women empowerment. Many times we hear from the West that we in the East, we don't have women empowerment. I sometimes laugh at that, because we have had a role of women not only in ruling the countries for last 2000 years. Even before that, we have gods and goddesses with equal stature, and also in general public, there are matriarchal societies in India, and so none of the other countries can say that we are not having women empowerment. I think we are having very high level of women empowerment. If you look at the US, they had, after 400 years of existence as a democratic country, they had the first president woman. Whereas if you look at our country, I mean, we are a very young nation. We had so many women in the not only as a prime ministers, but also at very powerful positions, ambassadors and all that. So this time there are the cabinet has 11 women. 2 were already there, 9 have been inducted. I will for academics, I will just name them right now. One is Annapurna Devi. She is a member of parliament from Bihar. Then we have Anupriya Patel. She is from a coalition party of ruling dispensation called Apna Dal. She is the leader of Apna Dal. She heads the party from Uttar Pradesh. Then third, we have Darshana Vikram Jardosh. She is from Gujarat. And mind it, I'm just taking their name, but they have individually, all of them have at least 2 decades of career behind them. So none of them are novices. They're all very experienced people. And the average age of the cabinet this time, even though we are calling it the youngest cabinet, the average age of the current cabinet is about 52 years. So all of these guys are very, very experienced. They have been there, done that. They have done something in life. And that is why, based on that past experience, they are being inducted into the new cabinet. Moving on. Number 4 is Dr. Bharati Praveen Pawar from Maharashtra. She is a member of parliament from Maharashtra. Number 5 is Dr. Preetam Munde from Maharashtra. Number 6 is Hina Gavit, again from Maharashtra. And Hina Gavit has have the record of being the youngest member of parliament in 2016. Then we have number 7, Meenakshi Lekhi. She is a very well-known Supreme Court lawyer. She's from New Delhi, member of parliament from New Delhi. Number 8 is Shobha Karandlaje from Karnataka. And number 9 is Sunita Duggal from Haryana. So you see the entire people from all over different states who have done something in their state. They have selected by people as member of parliament, elected by people from different states, reached parliament of such a large country, and now they are going to be deciding the fate of this country by joining the cabinet. So this is something which I thought I will discuss. There is much more to it, but I don't want to elongate this discussion. Only thing is that the cabinet is such an important area of our governance that from the cabinet only the ministers will come out, and then these ministers will then will get sort of promoted from being a member of parliament, simple member of parliament, to being a minister, who will then head ministries. And as you know, India being such a large country, ministries in India are some of the largest employer in the world. I mean, if you go to Guinness Book of World Record, you will see railways as the largest employer in the world, with total strength of 2.5 million employees. So there is a railways ministry. So minister who heads that ministry, the entire pyramid of that ministry will start reporting to the minister. So hence, this is how the whole system works. There will be people elected by the who will actually become part of parliament, lower house, from those lower house member of parliament from the ruling dispensation. A cabinet is formed. From the cabinet, ministers are selected, who will then head the ministries. Ministries will basically govern our day-to-day life in India. So friends, this is a live show. Do write in, give your comments. If you have any suggestion, please suggest that. We will include that also. And also tell us what subject you want us to talk next time in AAA. But for today, I would like to say goodbye, only to catch you next time.